Okay, well, thank you everybody for attending, and Mark, I want to thank you for all of the hard work that you've always put into the Membership Commission. This is Bob Bianchi speaking. I'm the first National Vice President. So we are going to do something a little unique. When Mark does his presentation, we're also working very closely with the Technology Committee in order to generate membership, especially with the younger generation. We had a very robust call last night with regard to interfacing social media into the membership piece of it so that we can get our message out there. As some of you may know, or some of you I'm sure all know, Joe DiGiapani is our Chief Operating Officer now and has done some amazing stuff with Outreach on the Hill, as well as with celebrities and high-profile people. And it's that kind of sizzle that we want to make sure that we get out on the social media in a more profound way than we've been able to do before. The staff has done a tremendous job, but we're now with the new website, we're making tweaks to that, and we're now going to make tweaks to the social media piece. So I think that that's specifically going to be something very important for driving membership, especially with the younger demographic that's basically only getting their information now and their data from social media platforms. Facebook for them now is actually antiquated, but Twitter and Instagram, Snapchat, and things of that nature. So we're really, really excited about everything that's going on, and with President Nancy's direction, things are really, really going well in a very robust way, like I said. Mark, I'll leave it to you from here.
All right, I just want to thank Mary, who's also hosting with us this evening, and also Emily for all the service that she's put in. So just letting kudos to those people. So Emily, go ahead with the next slide, please. So this is our 5th webinar that we've given over the course, and just to identify all the players, as Bob said, our National President Nancy DeFiore Quinn is ex officio to this commission. Chair is Bob Bianchi, National First Vice President. And the co-chairs are myself and Dan Onofrio. Dan couldn't be on the call tonight. He had a previous engagement. Go ahead, next slide, please. 14 members from across the country. We solicited the state presidents, and we had a number of new members since the last term. We welcome them and new ideas, and we've had a number of people that have held over and continue to contribute to the group. Go ahead, next slide, please. Just to let you know what we're committed to do is kind of act as a conduit among the commission's boards, Grand Lodges, and the national leadership to provide guidance and support. You can read it. Maximize recruiting and retention. So that's kind of a catch-all. What we like to be is, when there's a question or something comes up, we want to be responsive to the individual member. And we also think it's important to communicate in a transparent manner what's going on, and that's the reason for the webinars and the conference calls.
Mark, may I interrupt here for a second?
Go ahead, please, Bob.
So one of the things that we want to be able to offer to the Grand Lodges, I'm going to keep getting back to that social media piece, is that a lot of them have great events, swearing-ins of new presidents, things of that nature. We're building a social media platform in such a way that the Grand Lodges will be able to push very easily pictures and very short videos, no more than 30 to 60 seconds long, to national, and we will actually take that, optimize it. They call it optimization, for those of you who don't know what that is. That's the way that Google searches in social media through the use of hashtags, which I'm sure you've heard of, and be able to push out all the great stuff that your lodges are doing, which we think is going to be very beneficial for membership, because now, again, people are going to see in the outside world all the great stuff that the local lodges are doing, which hopefully would be an incentive for people, especially younger people, to join. Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
Thanks. Emily, next slide, please. As Bob has referred to before, there's a couple of projects and plans underway changing the OSIA.org website. People are finding it cumbersome to go through that membership portal to the members only section, and we want to bring a lot of that information out front where it's available to the public, and people don't have to kind of run the gauntlet through that portal to get information that's not proprietary. So that's on the list, and that's according to the website designer is a pretty easy fix. So look for that in the near future. I think that's there's a number of easy fixes that he can take care of, and he's even during one of the conference calls changed out the directory, the business directory, and put it out front. And that's Bob was very impressed with that. Bob's been the driving force behind that business directory, which is helps fund the CSJ. Bob, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, again, we're trying to build in value to membership because I think that one of the things for many years I've been thinking is that, well, it's great to share our Italian heritage. The bottom line is younger people and middle-aged people, they're busy, they've got kids and families and are just starting out their careers. So the groups that they're joining are those that can have value-added benefits to them. So the business directory was something that we worked on very hard, and it was kind of buried in the website where, like Mark said, pulled it out. We're going to pull it out a little bit more. And essentially there's 3 categories of membership, and it's kind of a networking opportunity and also to showcase your, your business. For example, I have a law firm. So once we're all said and done with this, there are 3 levels, tiers of admission, if you will, into the directory: gold, silver, and bronze, and each carries a different, I believe gold is 500, and then it drops down to there. I apologize, I don't know all the dollar amounts right now. We're just kicking off with it. And you get different levels of service, including backlinks to your own company website and other your logos. And the higher you go in the dollar amount, the more bells and whistles you get as far as your presence on OSIA's website. And again, I think that would be very attractive to younger people who are saying, wow, I could join this organization. And within the organization is an actual networking opportunity. I'll just say I was extraordinarily amazed at the fact that I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it on our website. And I had to get the website guy to explain to me how to get there. And it's click here and click there and click the other place, and around it went. And we all know more than 2 clicks and you've lost your audience. Nevertheless, now we're changing all that. It's been substantially changed already. And we'll change it more to make it more accessible to people. But we already received something like $1,500 for people that participated in the website directory, even with all of that to get to it, which I was really amazed to. So one can only imagine when we pull it back out more front and center on the website what kind of interaction we're going to get. And again, as Mark said, these funds are dedicated towards CSJ, so it's a great fundraising opportunity from them. I'm really excited about that.
Good. Mary, go ahead and continue on with this slide, please. I don't want to be doing a monologue.
No, you're good. I think we've covered everything on this slide. We have a separate webinar for meetup.com if anyone has any questions on that. So it would be a perfect opportunity if you're looking to engage a younger crowd. It's an opportunity, like I said, just to kind of pull them in an organized fashion. And I'm getting some feedback when I speak and when Mark speaks. Does anyone else?
I'm getting that feedback too. So it is annoying. Emily, can you address that? I don't know.
I think somebody may be on speakerphone.
I'm not on speakerphone. I'm on the computer, so.
I have a headset.
Okay, so I don't know what it is. Okay, let's talk. We're just to continue on the meetup.com. We're going to continue the subsidy program, where this meetup is costs about $90 for 6-month subscription, and the Supreme Lodge is going to underwrite half of that. So there'll be more on that program coming out. This is an extension of an existing program. All right, Emily, go to the next slide, Emily. Go ahead, Mary.
Okay. So for the last year, the National Membership Commission has held live webinars every quarter. And one of the things that we also started doing was submitting a tri-annual report so that we could share everything with our members in terms of what we're doing, latest activities and recent accomplishments. And then at the plenary, we heard quite a bit of feedback indicating that we need to promote our organization and develop more of an online presence. So the next slide demonstrates some of our social media accomplishments if you want to flip to it. So I'm going to flip around a little bit between the first two bullets. In October 2008, the Ohio Membership Committee started a hashtag Get Your Italian On social media campaign so we could not only promote our organization, but celebrate our National Italian Heritage Month. We reached 5,000 accounts, primarily on Facebook. And then we went from October to February this year, and we partnered with National, Ohio partnered with National, to promote the hashtag That's Amore social media campaign. And basically the idea was to share what we love about the organization. And then together we had a reach of 30,000 accounts on various social media platforms. So this past October, hopefully you saw it, we ran our second Get Your Italian On campaign, and together we had a social media reach of over 205,000 accounts. So we're ecstatic with that success. So with that said...
Mary, can I just interrupt for one second, please?
Sure.
Teresa, thank you for the suggestion. We're not sure if the feedback may have something to do if somebody has a phone on or if you're not muted. So if you have, if you can mute, whatever, I don't know if that's... Other people don't have access to the voice, but that may help. I'm sorry, Mary.
No, that's okay. So this February, we're running the hashtag That's Amore campaign, and we're going to have it with more of an invitation to become a member. Share what you love, but then next step is sign up and join. We also had a request out to all members, I know it was in the last 2 months, Quest MSA, asking members for photos or videos to share in our national material to, again, help promote the organization. And we've got some submissions already. And then lastly, we started a YouTube channel, and in doing so, we can house videos on one platform for all lodges to use, view, and then share and enjoy. So right now we have, I think, 17 videos with over 2,000 views, which is great, but we want more. So we want to see what your lodge is doing, what you're celebrating, your ceremonies, your parties. If you need help putting something in video format, I'm more than happy to do that. Just send us an email at membership@osaya.org, and we'll get it up and running.
Mary, I'd just like to interrupt one more time, please.
Sure.
Thank you for the YouTube. YouTube is very big for those of you who may not be social media savvy, but that is run by Google. And, for example, I'm in the media world, so anytime I'm doing something in media, it originates on YouTube first. There's, again, the hashtagging, and there's things that we can do on YouTube that allow us to identify demographics, but age, gender, race, all sorts of things. Italians, things of that nature, and YouTube will and Google will send that out to those that we identify, and then from YouTube, instead of just posting it directly, I'm just trying to do education so people understand. Instead of just putting it on Facebook or putting it on Instagram, we put it on YouTube first, and then from YouTube we share it onto the other platforms. There's a button by which you can do that. The office will do that, or whoever we hire will do that, and then they share it out there. So it's a force multiplier. And what this all means is that in the I always get this word wrong, algorithm that Google uses, the more it sees it's being shared out from YouTube onto other social media platforms, and the more that we share and retweet and send to our friends, the organization's prominence moves up in that algorithm. Okay, thanks, Mary.
Sure. Just to piggyback real quick on what you said, so our channel on YouTube... that's some feedback. As Order Sons and Daughters of Italy and America. There we go. So Order Sons and Daughters of Italy and America is our YouTube channel, and we have everything from, we have a 100-year celebration that's out there. We've got stuff about Grand Lodge and conventions. We've got wine tasting. We've got Andrea Bocelli, his foundation, Thanking Sons of Italy. So we have a variety of things. We're just ready to boost it and make it that much better. Mark, do you have anything with this?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You're good, Mark.
Okay, am I got a feedback yet still or not?
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay. All right, it's not as bad as before. Emily, when you get a chance, can you unmute? I'm just going to go use my phone and turn the computer off. So unmute if you can when you get a chance. When you see it pop up, 850-221-8510. Okay, so
Okay.
let me try to dial in on that. Go ahead. Go ahead with the next slide, and Mary, go ahead with you.
In terms of membership?
Yeah, the membership numbers and where we're at. That's kind of
sure. So these are our statistics quarter over quarter for the last couple of years. I think there's the good and the bad. So the good is, we have over 30,000 nationally, which is fantastic. However, if you look at the trend, we've got a decline of nearly 3,000 members at just over 4%. So I think one of the things that the membership committee is doing is looking at retaining our current members and then recruiting other members that are, of various generations. So we want to get your grandchildren, your children. We want to get everybody involved, make it a family affair. We've got a few initiatives underway. So we've got our ALM program, the at-large members. And right now you can join the Order of Sons and Daughters of Italy in America, and you get a closed Facebook group, you get some swag in the mail, and then you get benefits that any other member would receive, as a regular physical lodge member. We're looking for your ideas. We're happy to share our own. Like I said, we've got a few things underway, but we're all in this together. So, Mark, did you want to add anything?
I think Mark is dialing back in from his phone, so we can go to the next slide.
Okay. So one of the initiatives that we started last term, the National Membership Committee, was to place an ad in the Military Officer magazine, and we have the ad ready to go. I think it's a 1 inch by 1 inch square. The January 2020 issue will appear, and we understand that the circulation here is 250,000 people. So what we've done is we've added a landing page so we can track anyone who is reading this magazine and interested in our organization to manage where they come from, what they're interested in. We have some questionnaires out there, and then we provide them with the details of membership. And that was our latest initiative. Are you there, Mark? I think I covered it.
Yep, I'm still in. I'm still here on my computer, but I'm getting feedback. So I'll just try to continue. I wanted Emily to unmute me on my phone, but that's not working. So when it gets too overbearing, I'll just sign off here. Okay. Go ahead with the next slide, then, Emily. As Bob mentioned before, we're going to coordinate with the tech committee to roll out some initiatives with social and digital media, targeting the younger potential members. And he talked about the different platforms that we have: the Twitter, YouTube TV. That's a big one. We want to recommend that all our members sign on to our channel on YouTube and follow us, and that makes us more of an influencer and gets the word out to a broader reach. And as we talked about, possibly involving an outside expert to coordinate these future social media programs. So that's all all in the hopper. And as I said, we've even started implementing some of these ideas. Bob, anything to add?
I think that the only thing I would add is that culturally, as an organization, I think that I'm going back only 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, when there was debate about whether we would be allowed to use emails to conduct business, way behind, the times. And I understand we have an older demographic in terms of communication, and we certainly want to be able to communicate in the manner that they feel comfortable with. But this is where it's at. As all of you who are on here, I imagine, are tech savvy to some level because you got onto this platform that we're using right now. So I know with my media that I do, I could be here all day long, 24 hours a day, trying to put it on YouTube, and then Instagram and hashtagging it and getting the demographics. It's a really arduous process. And the folks at the office now put a lot of content out on our social media platforms, really good content. Our Facebook, I keep forgetting the number, but we have like over 80,000 followers. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's amazing considering the fact that we've really never done it in a coordinated, professional way. So we have a new person that's going to be coming into the office, and the question becomes, do we have that person who may not necessarily have the marketing skills or the social media skills? They may be good at social media, but not in a manner like professionally, to spend their entire day doing what we're asking the Grand Lodges system and stuff, and do what Joe D is doing with meeting the congressman and being at the White House, and that'll be an all-day project every day for that person. Or do we hire outside and supplement, with the approval of the office, what work that person is doing? So that is a question that has to be brought up to leadership. The bottom line is that this is an investment, whether it's from somebody in-house, whether we hire 2 people or with an independent outside person, whatever the ultimately is, it's too important. I'd like to get your feedback. When you guys can comment, by the way, the reply button up there, as to hopefully people understanding the importance and the investment and the return on investment that we will get if we spend some dollars here in order to increase presence, especially with the younger generation.
The other thing I would add, just as a reminder, Mark and I did a social media webinar in July. So if you want to check that out right now, it's in the members only section of our website, but that's available as well as a pretty solid resource in terms of which social media platforms we're on and how we've performed thus far.
Emily, go ahead and next slide, please. Okay, well, now it's a little better. Are you hearing me better now?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. I'm still doing the same thing, but I'm happy about that. Okay, so let's delve into the mailbox. We've got several questions that were submitted, and I saw Teresa already on the call, so let's lead with her questions. I'm curious to know about lodges that own a meeting place. Has it helped to build membership? I think the lodges that own buildings are historically been the have had larger membership because they've been able to raise the funds to buy the building. So they've historically had a pretty high membership to do that. So if that means they're successful, then I would say yes. But I think that there's a trend that these lodges that own a building are finding as the membership diminishes and their membership ages, there's nobody to do the hard day-to-day work of maintaining the building. So one of the lodges in my area ended up selling their building, but now have a great amount of money to which they can run programs and give to their charity. So you just find that historically the bigger lodges have been able to afford it, and as their as their membership goes down, at some point, many of them decide to exit the building, so to speak. Mary, what's your take on it in Ohio?
Well, we have 20-something lodges, and I think the two largest lodges both own buildings. One is the John Pirelli Lodge in Dayton, and we just celebrated 100 years, and the other is the Bel Air Lodge. And, I mean, both have bocce courts, they have a meeting space, they rent it out to their members. So to some degree, I think it depends on member engagement and, you know, where you can see your future. But there are also other lodges that, you know, like ours, we rent from a church essentially, but we don't have a huge fundraising base. So I think to some degree it's the culture within your local lodge to make that that determination. But I agree with what you said, Mark. I think it's, you know, it's dependent on each lodge.
Bob, do you have any input on that?
No, I have nothing to add, but Mark, do people know, did you say before I got on how to reply or how to submit a question?
Okay. If you want to submit a question, there are icons up on the top where there's a phone, a video camera, a microphone, a little icon telling you how many are in attendance, and that little bubble, you click on that bubble, it's a chat bubble, and you can write a message or a question, and it'll pop up, and we can answer it right here live. So if you have a question, just go to the chat bubble, press on it, and then type your question in, and we'll answer that. Thanks.
And Mark, yeah, no problem. The last housekeeping item, I see we got a question that came in, but and thank you for those questions. Did we take an attendance list here? Because I see people are dropping off.
We'll be able to. We really don't take an attendance list. I think we can, after the fact, Emily can generate one from the phone numbers and from the emails. So go ahead.
So I got to answer this question because it came in from my favorite lodge in the entire United States, Lodge 2662. So that's got to be Bob or some variation thereof. And the question actually is a good question. How do we submit a video and or photos? So great question, because I know 2662 is a very, very active lodge. They're a direct report to Supreme. They don't have a Grand Lodge yet in South Carolina. So we're going to give a list, a very short, brief document to everybody to explain how it is that you do this if you're not tech savvy. And of course, you can always get somebody to do it. But Mary had responded. You could put it at, okay, things are moving too quick on me, on membership at osaya.org. All that information will be there. So what we're asking for is iPhone kind of videos and pictures. It doesn't have to be sophisticated. It doesn't need to be a production. You just have to be a little smart and capturing the thing that you think is important. And if it's going to be a video, it's going to be 30 to 60 seconds. And the reason for that is Twitter and Instagram only accept up to 59 seconds worth of video. Facebook will do more, and that would be the only other platform. And YouTube will do more. So if you want to shoot 2 videos, one that may be 3, 4, 5 minutes long, you can't make it much longer than that. You got to keep it short, and then shoot one, or we can edit it. That's another thing why it's a lot of work for the national office. We can edit down a 5-minute video down to 30 or 60 seconds. So to use my example, if I go on TV and I have a media hit, I give it to my people. They put it on YouTube, the full hit, and then they edit it down to the 30 to 60 second portion so that I can go on Twitter and Instagram, which is really, really key. So, Bob, I think that's you out there in 2662, membership at osaya.org, or, you know, you can certainly email in the meantime until we get those instructions out, anybody at the national office, and we'll go from there. And I think there's other questions, Mark, I wasn't able to read them.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob. You're on a roll. Go ahead from Mike Camachi from Ohio, who's on the membership commission in Ohio. Our challenge remains the conversion of activity to members. Are there initiatives, ideas, or resources to address this? That's right in your wheelhouse. So go ahead.
Well, conversion, or as I would put it, ROI, return on investment, similar kind of concepts, is obviously key. It makes no sense that, well, it's great to promote the organization, but, Mike, what we're trying to do here is give a presence that this organization is one that you can join to enjoy your Italian culture, but also that there's added benefit to your business or your profession, or if you're a student, we're starting an internship program. We're doing the business directory. Now, these are all things we'll also push out on social media. So we're hoping that people will, the idea of the social media is that they see it and they say, I value this and I want to be a part of it because it provides something to me in return. Mark, I don't know if we have so many different ideas going on. Am I missing anything on the, it's a great question. How do we convert it into activity of membership? And again, Mike, before Mark goes, to me, if you don't have these things where people are getting a value, I know people were bristled at that years ago, but the bottom line is our time is limited. If you're not giving them a value, if you're not giving them an internship program or a business connection or something that they can say, wow, there's a value to this, you're not going to get the membership. So hopefully the social media is going to demonstrate to people there is a value to joining this organization. That's the. I hope I answered your question, Mike and Mark and Mary. I don't know if you have anything else.
Yeah, that's good. Now we have some more. We have some more questions here that I'm going to read. Some of it's related to membership, and some is not. Let's do this one. In speaking to members at different lodges, I have found a surprising lack of knowledge of Italian history. It would seem that we should be able to have discussions that are more than superficial. Can we have lodges give 1-minute lessons at the start of the general meetings? Sure, that's certainly allowed. The local lodges have a lot of latitude running their meetings, and if you want to incorporate that into your lodge meeting, go right ahead. Then the next.
Can I answer?
Go ahead.
From a different perspective real quick. So if you're looking for a 1-minute hit, if you want to start that initiative and record it, that would be awesome and something we could put on our YouTube channel and share it with all the other lodges.
Okay, good. What are the plans to become visible to younger potential members? By younger, I mean under 40. I think Bob has addressed that during this entire webinar, what the plans are to ramp up social and digital media, and that's the plan. And the last,
just to let you guys know, we're not just doing it as middle-aged and older people. What will attract younger people, and our thoughts about it. Emily and Miles were on our tech call yesterday, as well as a very prolific and very good young social media person that works specifically with Italian organizations. That's how she started her career. I know her very well. She actually does all my social media. And so these ideas are really being generated a lot by what they say. So, and they all make sense, what it is that they're saying.
Okay. So good point, Bob, that we're not just listening to archaic ideas. We're soliciting the younger interpretation and younger view. That's important. Is there or will there be an effort to reconcile with the Pennsylvania's group that left the national organization 6 years ago? That's from George Lepore. We have been trying to do that in Pennsylvania. There's been extended efforts to reach those people. The problem being is that many of those people in the lodges that left, even at this point, have no idea that they are not in the Order Sons of Italy in America. They have really not been told by their leadership in the lodges. So but we don't have access to those people. We've tried. We have. I'll say repatriated about 25 to 2,800 people in Pennsylvania, but it's an ongoing process, and there's been an extended effort to do that. Bob, you're familiar with that situation. You want to comment on that?
Yeah, well, like Mark said, it's pretty much what it is. I was at the epicenter of that when it happened. I was the national orator at the time. Obviously, it was unfortunate. There was a lot of confusion. I don't even want to go through the tortured history. Many of you know it. I mean, some people didn't even know they left and didn't know what the vote was and so on and so forth. But we have made extended efforts, and we will continue to do so. But I haven't spoken directly to the national president about where we are with that, but we certainly can get back to you guys on that on the next webinar.
All right. See the question from Steve there, Bob?
With the business directory in mind, does LinkedIn have a place with our social media outreach? Listen, that's another great question. I think that's the only social media outlet that we do not have yet that's up.
No, we're on it. This is Mary. We're definitely on it.
We're on it? Okay. I don't even know it. There you go. LinkedIn is a very valuable thing. I just don't know how much we're leveraging it.
It's not. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mary.
I was going to say I got on it about a year ago when Carly was on it, and it's great. So what I did was I saw that there wasn't a whole lot of members that I knew on it that I was already attached to. I was already linked in with them, so I sent them all private messages, and I think I probably got 10 or 20 to join. It's not used very often, but there are opportunities where you can share things with other members within the group, but it's not used to the extent that it could be. But we definitely have a group.
So yeah, and so to answer that as well, that's why it's important to put all of our stuff first on the videos, at least on YouTube, and YouTube has a share function to LinkedIn, and this kind of demonstrates the point of what I'm talking about. I apologize for not even knowing that we had LinkedIn, but it was so infrequently used. But I think it is a better opportunity to use it now that we have the business directory, to your point.
All right. Thank you. Let's see. 2662 commented, great Veterans Day event, and they have pictures, so they're going to share those, so that's good. We have another
pictures. 2662 is asking what size the pictures are. So I'm not sure whether or not they have them on on an iPhone or an Android, or if they're talking about regular pictures. But if you're iPhone, okay. All right. So what I do is I send my stuff. Either the iPhones have different settings, believe it or not, depending on your carrier and where you're at. But I either put actual or large. Mary, is that how you normally do it?
Yes.
Yeah, so actual, if you have an option that says actual or large, and if it's something that can't be worked out, we'll go from there and just resend it in a different format, but not small or medium.
Okay. Let's kind of shift gears a little bit. This is kind of outside membership, but still is important. Is there a written plan and action points to explain the truth about Christopher Columbus and stop the loss of Columbus Day?
Okay.
Yeah. You
so
hit it.
The answer to that is a big YES. Okay. It's not just about talking about it. I'm more of a what's the action item person. What are we going to do to effectuate it? And Joe DiGiovanni has done a great job at outreach on the Hill. And how does this convert into Columbus Day? Well, we just met the Italian American Congressional Caucus. I was there. I participated in that. They asked us what they can do to help with the Columbus Day issue. We hadn't even we thought that we were going to have to make a big push, and they're very big on that. There may be a little bit of a congressional inquiry or symposium on this, and I know that Robert Frada from New York and Robert Ferrito, who is the CSJ president, who is also at that meeting with the congressman, is also putting an action plan together to actually get stuff out. There's also we're not just letter writing anymore. And I would add that if you go to my social media today on Facebook for Bob Bianchi, you'll see that I posted something that's a professor, I believe it was, or a lecturer, confronting a student who was against and spit on a Columbus statute, and it really was an amazing video of facts that really dwarfed this kid who was caught up in this whole milieu of anti-Columbus sentiment. If you can get to my social media on Facebook, if you haven't, check it out. And again, this is where we have to do a better job at sharing our stuff. And it's, I understand that nobody's sitting on Facebook and wondering, let me see what Bob Bianchi's doing. But part of the social media campaign that we're going to have on the Columbus piece is letting you all know, hey, we just posted something on Facebook, Twitter, now LinkedIn, and Instagram on Columbus Day. We would appreciate shares and retweets and what have you. And I really think it's really important that we send the message out when we get this up and running on Columbus Day, that it just can't be a one-time post. It's got to be shared, and the more it's shared, the more the search engines look at it and the more commentary there is. I mean, if you look at my social media from Columbus Day, I actually did a media hit on Columbus Day that I put up there in front of, I think it was Chasing Newsmark. It got a lot of debate, some negative, but there were a lot of people that came out and were positive. In other words, it just increased the awareness of the situation. But yes, we are doing a lot with Columbus Day. Moreover, we're doing a lot that I think is going to have an impact.
And I'd like to mention the fact that we have coordinated with 5 other Italian-American organizations, and each of us, all 6 organizations, have put up $50,000 to have a media campaign explaining Columbus Day and trying to save Columbus Day. So we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're partnering with these other groups. And in greater numbers, there's greater strength, and that'll be interesting to see the results of that promotion and the media campaign, what the results are. But
yeah, one of the things we're asking the congressman to do is, wouldn't it be amazing with the relationships that Joe has built up on the Hill now, and they want to continue this. We're supposed to meet them at least every 3 months and go out for dinner and go over issues of concern. If they actually, I asked them to go into the congressional record for when Columbus Day became a holiday, which was, by the way, right after the lynchings, I believe, in New Orleans, and to pull out the data as to the reason for the holiday, and also to do an inquiry as to the facts of, what's to be believed or not be believed, and hopefully if it's favorable to us, that would be an amazing thing if we could be pushing out that the United States Congress has found the following, and it supports Columbus. Yeah. I think that speaks for itself, right?
It would be awesome.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we're at 7:45, and we promised a 45-minute webinar, and we're holding to that. We've kind of exhausted all the questions, and just want to thank everybody for participating. And then the Emily at the office, I believe, will get this put onto YouTube and made available to those that weren't able to participate live. So, Mary, and anything else you'd like to say?
No. So I sent a note. I was talking with Lodge 2662. If anyone wants me to put together a video with still photos, I'm happy to do that as well. Or if you want to get something uploaded to YouTube, we can work with you and we'll get that published.
Okay. Bob, last words.
No, I want to thank you all very much for your interest. And I have felt that a lot of times we've given platitudes and talked about things like Columbus Day, and some of the suggestions that are in here were great about LinkedIn, especially tied into the business directory. And the stuff that we're doing now, I really feel is going to have a return on investment, because we're putting all these great concepts into action in a way that I think is going to be great for us as a group, and moreover is going to drive membership.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks everybody for participating, and that'll wrap it up. Thank you, Emily, for producing this. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.